Yo, what is up guys? It's Pedro here, and in today's video I'll be talking about everything you need to know about the Washington Commanders 2024 offseason, including when they can interview coaches, who they're interested in, general manager candidates, when they can interview them, free agency, cap space, their draft picks, and so much more. Make sure you guys subscribe, hit that like button, and that notification bell as well, and check out BetUS, link in the description. Alrighty, so the Washington Commanders 2024 season 2023-2024 season is almost over. They play tomorrow against the Dallas Cowboys, and hopefully they lose. I know some people are like, never want to lose against the Cowboys, but let's keep it real. There's no reason to win this game. It doesn't help you at all. The coaches are going to be gone. The front office is going to be gone. Probably going to have a new quarterback. This offseason is absolutely huge for all the reasons I just said. They're going to have to hire. This is the first year, really, of the post-Dan Snyder era. Yes, we got a new owner this offseason, but when I think it was July-ish, middle of July, maybe August, but I think it was July. You don't really have a chance to do a lot. You really don't have a chance to do a lot. So him coming in the middle of offseason, he couldn't really do a lot. He could do, very little things. And he hired some analytics people like Eugene Shen and recently a sports science guy. But now this offseason, he's going to have the chance to really make a change. He gave Rivera a year. It was absolutely terrible. Absolutely terrible. And now he's going to hire a new president / GM. We'll see if he hires both of those positions or a guy that is the president and then also the GM at the same time. There's been rumors they want to model their franchise after the Ravens and go after guys like Joe Hortiz and Mike McDonald. Made a video about both those guys yesterday. There's also, other guys they could go after too with the Ravens, and then Eagles as well. A lot of guys that used to work for the Eagles. Alec Hollaby, Ian Cunningham as well is someone they could go after. But in this video, gonna go over draft picks, cap space, when they can hire coaches and stuff. So listen to the Ben Stanek podcast, and he talked about it. They can interview GMs on the 8th, so the day after the season's over, which is tomorrow. This is the 7th. 8th is on Monday. Black Monday is when they can interview general managers and presidents. I think they're going to start that right away. I think they probably have a list already. I mean, they definitely have a list already of guys they want, and they probably either know who they're going to hire or have a very good idea of 2-3 guys that they want, even if they interview 5, 6, 7 guys. So that can start as early as Monday, and I think it will. And expect to hire probably within 10 days. So I would say by the 18th or maybe the 20th. I looked it up a couple years ago when the Giants hired Joe Schoen, whatever his name is. He was hired on the 21st. So around that date is when you could see the Commanders hire their president or general manager, and then head coach would definitely be after that, because first off, you want to hire your GM and then head coach, and there's been reports that Harris wants to do that approach with a general manager / president as the main guy, and then going in and hiring a head coach. That, general manager / president, along with maybe guys like Eugene Shen and maybe even Josh Harris having a little bit of influence in terms of hiring the head coach. But it's going to be mostly the general manager. Honestly, Harris, he's going to help choose the general manager and president, but after that, I think he's going to let that guy do almost all of the work and do all the, make all the decisions along with Eugene Shen. So head coaching will probably be late January, very late January, early February is when we probably will make our hires. I think the 22nd is when we can start interviewing. Because of the playoffs, they kind of changed the rules. So you might be able to do online interviews a little bit earlier, but I believe the 22nd is when the interviews are able to start. So head coach, it's just a playoff rule this year, but that doesn't affect the general managers and front office guys because, they're not coaching. They might be doing a little bit of work, but they can also interview at the same time. But some people in the past have felt the coaches like, Jonathan Gannon was coaching in the Super Bowl, but he already basically, he was also interviewing at the same time. And it's just not the best, optics. So they like, for them to wait a little bit. So I guess that's what they're going to do. And yeah, so expect a a general manager and president to be hired first. And I expect a Ravens guy, probably Joe Hortiz Joe Hortiz, I think, is the front runner. But there's guys like Ian Cunningham as well, who worked with the Eagles. There's Adam Peters, who's always a hot candidate. And, Pat Moriarty, who I don't know if he'll be hired as like a president, but maybe as a like assistant GM or something, because they're going to have to get a lot of different guys. This front office needs to, a total revamp. Maybe a couple guys stay, but, all the main guys, they need to be gone. But yeah, that's kind of the information there on when they can hire head coaches, when I expect it to happen. And I think my guess is Mike Macdonald will be the head coach, but my number one option is Ben Johnson. Probably number two is either Mike Macdonald or Bobby Slowick. We'll see how Bobby Slowick does the rest of the way. He's young, and he also has 1 year of experience. So that's like the downside with Bobby Slowick. He's only called plays for a year, but he is an offensive mind. He's young, and he helped develop CJ Stroud really well. Mike Macdonald is young, but he's had experience, I think, 3 years as a defensive coordinator for the Ravens, and they've played really well. They played well when he's been the DC. He's also the DC for the Michigan Wolverines, and they were good. And then he, when he left Baltimore, they weren't as good as when he was there, and he came back in 2022, and they've been really good. So he's had a really good track record. And he just has to hire a good offensive coordinator. Maybe he does, hires T. Martin, who's the quarterback's coach, I believe, for the Ravens right now, who used to be in the NFL. Okay, now let's get into draft picks and stuff. So the Commanders currently have the number 2 overall pick in this year's draft. And, currently there's a game going on. We want the Steelers to win. And then I believe we want the Colts to win the night game as well. But the biggest game is obviously us playing against the Cowboys. If we lose, that helps us out a ton. And we want the Patriots to beat the Jets. Right now, I believe they're 2.5. They're 2.5 point favorites. So they'll probably win. Honestly, they're at home, and Vegas. They know a lot of times. So I guess they think the Patriots are going to win. It's at home. The Jets aren't great, and we almost beat them. So yeah, that's kind of. If they win and we lose, we're guaranteed that number 2 overall pick. If they lose and we lose, then a few other things need to happen, and the Steelers winning and the Colts winning would be good, and then the Saints counts as like 2 things needing to happen because it's good for us and bad for the Patriots. So I think we need a total of 4 things that need to happen. So if the Steelers win today, which they are right now, 7-0, with the Ravens resting some of their starters like Lamar and guys like that and Odell, if they win, the Colts win, and the Saints win, we're in as long as we're at the number 2 overall pick as long as we lose. But there's other games that are happening as well that could help us out as well. But we have the number 2 overall pick currently, 36th overall pick. Yeah, second round. That's the second round pick. 41 from the Bears. Hopefully they lose this week, and that'll help out this draft pick as well. 6700 from the Chase Young trade, which is looking back on it, I was really mad when it happened, but it doesn't look like it's that bad right now. That trade, he hasn't been doing a lot with the 49ers. Still like him though. And then 102, 137, 180, 219. So a lot of high picks. We have a lot of ammunition to trade up if we want to go to 1, or if we're at 3 and we want to trade up to 2. Have a lot of ammunition for sure. And real quick, a word from today's sponsor. And a huge shout out to BetUS for sponsoring today's video. Make sure you guys check them out. Link in the description. You get 125% first time deposit match when you sign up with that link right there. And also, they're giving away Super Bowl tickets. So if you guys want to join that giveaway, it'll be you and one other person. All you got to do, as you see on the screen, place a bet on any NFL line and share your bet on Twitter/X, minimum of $25. Tag BetUS_official and whatever friend or family member you're inviting, and use that hashtag BetUSLV, and then the 3 right there, those 3 right there, and you are entered into the giveaway. And honestly, just tag me as well so I know that you guys joined as well, and you get a chance to win 2 Super Bowl tickets. It's a great offer if you're making a bet anyways, so make sure you guys check them out. Link in the description. All right, and we're back. So yeah, just right here, overview of the Washington Commanders draft picks. They have some really good draft capital. Maybe they'll trade Jonathan Allen. I'm not completely sure. That's up to the new general manager / president. Also a little bit up to, Jonathan Allen as well. What he wants in the future. Will he request a trade? We'll see. Probably get around a 3rd round pick for him. I don't know. Maybe you can get a little bit more just because the Giants got a 2nd and a 5th for Leonard Williams. I think Jonathan Allen's a better player than Leonard Williams. He's also younger and making a little bit less money. So if Leonard Williams is getting a 2nd and 5th, I think Jonathan Allen deserves a 2nd and a 3rd, but I don't think that's going to happen at all. But that's the draft update for the Commanders, and we'll get a really good sense of that tomorrow. What happens, especially 1 o'clock game, the Patriots, but then after that, our game as well, and some other games as well, including the Saints. But cap space, we have the most cap space, at least currently, in the NFL with over 80 million, around 81,720,534. Every last dollar counts. Have some dead money as well, $7 million in dead money, so not a kind of mid-tier in terms of the dead money. There's maybe 5-6 teams, maybe 7 teams that have more dead money than us. But I guess I don't even know if this is showing. This isn't even showing all the teams, so there might be more, yeah. So overall, we're in a really good cap situation, and there's some other guys we could move on from or restructure deals that could create some more cap space. So we could be up at 90 mil, and obviously there's guys we might want to re-sign, like Cam Curl, maybe Kendall Fuller, and that'll get it down. But we still will have a comfortable amount of money to pay our draft class and bring in some, big free agents. I want to go out and spend on at least one big free agent that's a stud. Bring me one stud, and after that, fill in some holes. Get a solid linebacker. Get a couple solid offensive linemen. If you want to get a star, go ahead. But get that star at whatever position it is. Is it T. Higgins at receiver? Is it Brian Burns at DN? Or is it someone else? Or, whatever. But you just need to also fill in the holes. You can easily help out this team by signing an okay linebacker. Ron Rivera could have done it, but he decides to, cheap out and let other guys go, sign Cody Barton, draft Jamin Davis when there were a lot of better alternatives. But hey, it is what it is. Ron Rivera is going to be gone. It's his birthday tomorrow. Whatever. I'll wish him a happy birthday, but I don't care if he gets fired tomorrow. I know people are like, oh, let's fire him, in a week or whatever, a few days because it's his birthday. Who cares? Respectfully, he knows he's getting fired. He knows he's been known he's getting fired ever since he lost the Bears probably. And officially, a few weeks, 4 or 5 weeks ago, he knew he was gone. So, and really when Josh Harris, was owner, he knew he was gone. So it doesn't matter. He knew he was getting fired. You might as well get it done earlier. But they'll probably wait for Monday or Tuesday. Or they'll come out with some announcement saying Ron Rivera's retiring. Or my guess is that they mutually parted ways. That's what I'm going to say is the guess, even though if Rivera wanted to, he would probably still be coaching here. That's my opinion. He got paid. He's fine. And he had to deal with a lot. That it is what it is. And that'll be a whole separate video whenever whenever he leaves, not retires, but whenever he's gone. But the Rivera era was not kind to us. But at least we're in a situation where we do have good cap space and we do have good draft capital. So, that makes it a more attractive spot for whatever GM guy or head coach we bring in. It makes it much more of a respectful spot and an attractive spot for that GM to come to. So I think we'll be able to get a solid GM candidate and then a solid head coach. And if we have that number 2 overall pick, I think we're in a good position for this rebuild. It might take a few years, but hey, it is what it is. We just really got to find the quarterback. I know some people still like Sam Howell. He might still end up being good. I think he'll be a good backup at the very least. Maybe a low-tier starter to mid-tier. But we have the number 2 overall pick. We have a chance to get a stud like Caleb Williams, maybe Drake May or Jaden Daniels. I want to do that versus sticking with Howell. Maybe even Michael Penix, but not at top 5. I know a lot of people really like him, though. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, hit that like button, subscribe if you guys are new, and peace.